So in the last class we were discussing about the radar cross section reduction techniques. Okay, in those shaping and radar absorbing materials using absorbing materials, how can we able to reduce the radar cross section? And another two methods are passive cancellation and active cancellation. Okay, so now another method for reducing the radar cross section is passive cancellation among the four techniques. Okay, so this passive cancellation, so this is also one of the form, so which we can reduce the radar cross section by knowing the impedance loading. Okay, so this form, which we can call it as impedance loading, and the basic concept is to introduce an echo source whose amplitude and phase can be adjusted to cancel another echo source. That means whatever, this is passive. Why? Because we have to know the amplitude and phase of the echo which is produced by the target. And so since we have multiple pulse transmission and multiple echoes, okay, so whatever the echo which will be received, so that we need to read the phase and amplitude, and we can cancel that by adjusting that phase and amplitude of one echo source compared to other one. So then by doing this one, we can cancel the receiving reflections from the target, and we can able to reduce the radar cross section. Okay, so how can we able to do this one? So this can be done by using simple objects, so relatively simple objects, and provided we have to load that object with a point. So we have to load some objects, so simple objects we have to load, and we can identify that whatever the target is there. So by identifying the target body, so we can do this one. So for simple bodies, what happens, it is extraneously difficult to generate the required frequency dependence. Why? Because for simple bodies, so it depends on wavelength. So if the lower frequency region if you are operating, so it is completely read the complete the target itself. Okay, so it will read the complete target. For the high frequency region, what will happen, so the target itself become multiple reflectors or multiple targets, and it will going to reflect the energy. So for simple bodies, so it will be difficult to generate the required frequency dependence. So for this built-in impedance and the reduction obtained for one frequency in spectrum rapidly disappears as the frequency changes. So whenever you operate in the frequency range which is wider in the range, so whenever if you have the simple bodies, so because of the impedance variation, so that whatever the body which is having impedance variation, whenever it will be having one frequency, and it is changing with respect to the wide band whatever you are operating, so that will be it will be difficult to get the required whatever reflections from the target. So now the typical weapon platforms, like whatever weapon platform in the terms of military applications or in terms of the stealth applications, so these weapon platforms are hundreds of wavelengths in size and have dozens. So that means, so different weapon platforms will be used in the military applications. So like some defensive application you might have seen, some bomb explosives or some target whatever we are going to follow the targets, so particular type of target, so those and all having in a single platform, so then it will be having the targets itself, it will be having many multiple things. So now if maybe if not hundreds, in some tens of things will be there in the weapon platforms. So those echo sources we have to clearly we have to get the reflection, and we need to cancel properly to reduce the radar cross section. Say for example, if you have the aircraft, say for example, if you have aircraft, the propulsion system will be having different echo variation. And if you have the engine backside wing or side wings, or in the front whatever it is having the notch. So those and all, it will be having uh, that echo sources, that is reflection will be different from different parts. So that we need to take care for this passive cancellation, and we need to read all these echo sources, the phase and amplitude of that echo sources, to properly cancel those reflections, so in order to reduce the radar cross section. So that will be very important in uh, multiple things which is there in the single platform. That example is typical that weapon platform. So clearly it is not practical to devise a passive cancellation treatment for each of these sources, because each of the echo sources we need to read the phase and magnitude of that echo. So that's why it is passive cancellation, it is very much difficult to uh, carry out for the radar reduction technique. So that's why what we need to do, so we try to go for active cancellation. So what actually active cancellation will do, so this active cancellation will be, so in two forms it will be there, that is in the sense, the target itself, it has to read the incident energy or incident phase and magnitude, so that the target itself, it will cancel that whatever energy it is coming from the incident wave. So the target itself, it should uh, adapt in such a way that that should cancel the amplitude and phase of the incoming pulse. So that reflected energy will be so out of phase with respect to that incident energy, so that we can able to reduce the radar cross section. So that is also that is the method we'll use for active cancellation. So this cancellation method we also call it as active loading. So this active cancellation is even more ambitious than passive loading, because so it needs to read the phase and magnitude of the incoming pulse. Okay, so as I said, the target must emit radiation or reflect that energy in time coincident with the incoming pulse, whose amplitude and phase cancel the reflected energy. So whatever incoming signal or whatever transmitting signal which we transmit, so that itself, it needs to cancel that phase and amplitude of that signal. So the target must, uh, it will be very much smart enough to cancel that phase and amplitude of the incident energy. So that is what we will call it as active cancellation. So in what parameters this target must be smart to cancel that amplitude and phase, it should sense the angle of arrival, because at different with respect to spatial coordinates, it should uh, read the incident wave. So with respect to angle of arrival, what is the intensity and what frequency it is operating, and also waveform shape, whether it is rectangular form, whether it is triangular, or whether it is in the sine waveform. So like that waveform also it should able to read. So if the target is smart enough to read all these parameters, then we can able to probably reduce the radar cross section by active cancellation method. And also it should enough to know that echo characteristics. Echo means what type of reflections it need to produce, and also for the particular wavelength and angle. So whatever angle of arrival it is receiving from the incident energy, so it should smart enough to reflect in the same angle of arrival with minimal energy. So or it should cancel uh, the whatever the incoming wave. So that energy it should cancel in such a way that it should uh, know the echo characteristic, or it should produce that echo signal, so in order to generate proper waveform and frequency at that particular frequency whatever you are operating. So now clearly the relative difficulty of cancellation increases with increase in frequency. Why? Because active cancellation, it depends on the incoming wave phase and amplitude also, and also the target it depends on itself to produce the echo. So that's why as the frequency changes, definitely the scattering parameters will change, and scattering centers, whatever we call scattering centers, in the sense the portion of the target in which the maximum reflection occurs, so those will call it as scattering centers. Okay, so that it should go scattering centers go in and out of phase with smaller aspect changes. So that's why whenever scattering patterns become more complex. So like in aircraft or ships, so where the scattering pattern will be complex, so we'll identify the which are the main scattering centers from out of that system. So we'll identify that scattering centers, and we have to look into in and out phase cancellation of those whatever scattering centers are there. So if you able to cancel that scattering centers, then we can able to reduce the radar cross section. Okay, so this active cancellation appears most suitable for low frequency RCSR. Why? Because in the low frequency, what will happen, the wavelength of the wave will be so long, and it will be large enough to reach the complete target. So that's why this active cancellation, it can be easily so compared to passive cancellation, it can be easily done for the uh, low frequency designs. So where use of absorber and shaping become very difficulty at lower frequencies, so this active cancellation will be, so it will be used for radar reduction technique uh, for the low frequency designs. Okay, so this is one of the advantage of active cancellation for they will use for the low frequency radar designs. So now what are all the penalties we need to pay for reducing the radar cross section? So or what are the compromisation we need to take care for reducing radar cross section? So the requirement for reducing this radar cross section, so it depends on echo, whatever echo receives or echo complex with conventional and traditional requirements of structures. That means the whatever the complex targets are there, so how they are building the structural dependency, so that will be very much dependent. So based on the structures, so again radar cross section reduction, whether it will be 80% reduction it is happening, 70% reduction it is happening, according to the designer, the structure also we need to modify in such a way that the reduction percentage will be as per the design requirement. Okay, so as a result, the final system design is compromise that inevitably increases the cost of overall system. So because of the whatever design requirements, the final design we have to compromise with one or the other parameters, so and getting the radar cross section reduction with percentage whatever designer says. So now cost is the only one penalty of RCSR. So cost is, uh, of course, we have to pay some cost for radar cross section reduction, because whatever the technique you use for that reduction technique, definitely the hardware becomes or the structures become, we need to modify according to that percentage of radar cross section. That's why the cost is one of the penalty, and others are reduced payload. So even we can try to reduce the size or weight of the whatever structure we are using, and even range, maximum range we cannot able to achieve. So if you want more higher radar cross section reduction, and also weight will be increased, and also because of the hardware maintenance, the increased maintenance will be there because of the hardwares which we use for reducing the radar cross section. So these are all some of the penalties which we have to take care, and for reducing in terms of percentage wise the radar cross section. Okay, so now the relative importance of each factor depends on the mission of the particular platform involved. So whether it is for surveillance application, or whether it is for a military application or stealth technology, so depends on the platform how much radar cross section it is required. So that is important, and that uh, dependence in application involves these, we have to compromise among these penalties. So now always radar cross section or radar cross section reduction cannot always be justified. Why? Because if you design for 70%, we may not achieve because of the other parameters or environmental effects. So at least we can able to improve the detection ranges. So like in terms of detection ranges with respect to radar cross section. So this is very important, because detection range generally it will be more long or more distance they will ask as the designer. So in the military or stealth applications, in that case, so we cannot able to achieve whatever designer says. So even you have to pay more attention, or you have to take very much accurate design for achieving the uh, percentage of radar cross section for whatever specified ranges. So that we have to take care. Whenever the designer asks for that, we have to take more attention to reduce this radar cross section, because that particular applications, if you not achieve, then it will not be able to uh, work properly in that scenarios. Especially in the radar systems itself, you have to, whatever designer specifies in the military purpose or military persons, if whatever they specify, you have to achieve, and you have to practically measure and experimentally verify, then only they will accept it. Otherwise they will they straight away reject it, and they will try to tell that you have to achieve that whatever required specification. So now, as I said, in the uh, low frequency platform, so we have to use the active cancellation. For the high frequency platform, so whenever these targets we able to detect as a scattering centers in different scattering centers, so this shaping and radar absorbing materials are two important methods which we use for higher frequencies. Okay, so now we'll detailed about what are the shaping techniques, and what are the effects of these shaping techniques in reducing the radar cross section. So as I said, shaping is the first approach for reducing radar cross section, because we can modify the structure with respect to angle of arrival of incidence. So according to that, we can produce the echo signal, and we can reflect the energy in the direction of radar receiver. So that's why this shaping is one of the important and first technique used for reduction of the radar cross section. So shaping does not reduce radar cross section as measured over 4 pi steradians. That means if you consider the target itself, it is in the form of sphere, so then shaping, because whatever type shape you put material on top of target, so it will be in the uniform direction. If it is in the spherical form, so it will be in the uniform direction. Whatever the angle of arrival it will be there, it will going to reflect the same energy in all direction. So but rather reduces cross section over a limited angular viewing regions. So limited means, so since it is the sphere kind of thing, it is uniform. So whenever you incident the energy at that particular limited angular, whatever half power beam width will come, whatever we send the antenna beam width, in similar way the angular viewing regions will be there. So within that limited angular viewing regions, so we can able to reduce the cross section with respect to this 4 pi steradians spherical region. So now the goal of shaping is to bounce or redirect the radar energy away from the threat receiver into the non-threat spatial regions. So what is meant by threat region, and what is meant by non-threat region? Threat region means, as I said, the scattering centers will act as a threat region, because it will return the echo in the maximum energy form, or reflect the uh, waveform with maximum energy. And non-threat reflections or non-threat spatial region means, so those are the regions which will be reflect minimum energy. Okay, so that's why, so the shaping can be done in such a way that, so these threat regions and non-threat regions we have to take care, and we have to accordingly, we have to shape the structure or whatever system we need to shape. And most radar systems are monostatic, because they will use single receiver and single transmitter for the transmitting and receiving purpose. So shaping is concerned with the minimizing reflection in backscatter direction. So as I said, so this generally we always use non-threat spatial regions. We concentrate those regions, and we'll put that regions for backscattering energy, because it will minimize the reflection, and it will minimize the backscattering energy, and it will reduce the radar cross section. So that is the primary importance in shaping. So you need to take care the non-threat spatial regions, and you have to do that. So the reason shaping is so important to achieve significant detection range reduction is illustrated by the radar range equation. So if you take the radar range equation, so generally the shaping we cannot directly see in the radar equation, but so in terms of radar cross section sigma, we can able to do that the shaping, and we can achieve the range. Okay, so the detection range varies as fourth root of cross section. So this we know 1 over 4, so it is 0.2, it is not 0.5, so it is 1 over 4, so it is 0.2. Okay, sorry, 0.25 it will come. So 1 over 4, it is sigma power 1 over 4, it is 0.25. So this detection ranges, as I said, so it is varies as 1 by 4th of the radar cross section. So it is indirectly, this shaping depends on this radar cross section in the radar range equation. So the shaping may not appear, but it depends on the radar cross section. Based on this radar cross section, we can vary the detection range by using the shaping method. Okay, so now based on the arbitrary 100-mile detection range, so if you take the example for 100-mile detection range, so the detection range becomes smaller as the cross section is reduced, because if the radar cross section is reduced, then you will get the backscatter energy very less. So if you are not able to read that energy, then you cannot able to detect the target. Okay, so that's why whenever you have reduction in terms of percentage, so then you can able to uh, the range of detection can be reduced. So if say for example a 90% reduction of RCS reduces the detection range of 56 miles. Okay, so if you reduce the RCS 90%, then you can reduce the detection range of 56 miles. Say for example, if I am having 100 miles, the target is there, and that target is not able to produce the backscatter energy with the minimum reflection if it is producing, or if the target is having a 90% RCS reduction, so then we cannot able to reach 100 miles, only we can able to reach up to 44 miles, because it will this much percentage of reduction, it will reduce the detection range of 56 miles. So if you 100 minus 56, if you do only up to 44, we can able to go. So like that, the percentage of reduction in RCS, it will reduce the detection range. So 99% of reduction, so it will be up to 32 miles, and again 99% 0.9% reduction is only up to 18 miles. So up to whatever the detection range, it will reduce. So the reduction in RCS, it will go on reducing the detection range. Okay, so now significant detection range reduction requires even more significant RCS reduction. So again, whatever the detection range we want, depending upon that, you have to reduce the RCS. So now the application of radar absorbing material alone will not sufficient. Okay, because of several order of magnitude reduction in RCS is required. Even along with the radar absorbing material, shaping must also the main design of approach. So now if you have a complex target, okay, so like ship, so if you want the radar cross section reduction in some particular places, you can use shaping technique, and some in some other place, if you want utilize the radar absorbing material, you can use like that. You have to combine both application in complex targets, and you have to achieve the radar cross section reduction, and also with respect to detection range. Uh, and also this shaping as a tool for RCS reduction applies to only bodies much greater in size than the wavelength, because this, as I said, the frequency, if you go on increasing in the microwave region, the wavelength becomes very small. But even the small target like a simple aircraft also, it will be looking as a big in microwave frequency region. So as it approaches to optical region or optical scattering, so in that frequency region, even simple bodies are the size which is small compared to complex targets, also it will be looking like a big scatterers. So uh, as the wavelength decreases in the frequency range, in the higher frequency range. So now for backscatter, this means only those surfaces and edges whose normals point back toward the threat sector will have significant scattering. So as I said, the scattering centers, what we discussed, so that will be a threat sector, so that will be considered as a significant scattering. So when So then the normal incidence happens. So it is not like whatever the arriving angle or angle of arrival, it should not be like acute or obtuse angle. It should be normal to the surface where it is going to scatter. Okay, so this, the surfaces are edges whatever we see. So surfaces generally it will going to have maximum reflection when it is having perpendicular incidence. But edges, what will happen, it will be having different effects like edge diffraction, side lobing, so many things are there, so that will discuss for the edges. Okay, so whenever this backscatter happens, so we have to see which is the threat sector for maximum in reflection of that energy. So now how can we shape that threat sectors? So how can we, this shaping technique can be used for threat sectors? So shaping of target to reduce the backscatter RCS cannot be done without consideration of mission requirements, because whatever the military applications requires and what mission the RCS reduction it is required. So first we need to know that one, so then we can able to take the design steps and what are all the threats expected for that specific mission, and that threats we have to reduce, and we have to concentrate on that threats, and we have to reduce the radar cross section. So the type of radars also important for that specific mission, and frequencies, polarization, and also with respect to spatial locations and detection ranges. So all these parameters are primary parameters for any specific mission, so that we need to take care while doing the shaping techniques. And how we will plan the mission, that is also important for radar cross section reduction, and it will be plays an important role or significant role in shaping consideration. One must know how a target will be viewed by a threat radar. Say for example opposite radar, if you are viewing our system, how it is actually looking for. So prior to that you have to know in which direction, in which mission you are operating. So based on that you have to know the threat, what are the threat regions. So in our system we have to identify the threat regions, so then based on that threat regions we have to reduce the uh, radar cross section. So now as I said, this is the mission threat. So whatever they will give specification, based on that they will identify the threat sectors where the significant scattering or scattering centers are there, and also the signature levels, so and frequencies. So once they identify the scattering centers and which are all the threat sectors, so they will again overall configuration in the platform layout they will do. So based on that, what are all the things we can able to uh, in which areas we can able to use these shaping techniques, they can able to identify. So even you can see the other parts like avionics, crew station, inlet or exhaust, payload. So in the payload also, because whatever information we will going to send, so that payload also in the form of a system. So whether it is a threat sector or non-threat sector we have to observe, and then even using radar absorbing materials uh, and radar absorbing surfaces, edges or tips. So all these overall configuration in the platform layout they will first design. So after the designing process or after identifying what are all the things we need to concentrate, so then we have to use the either shaping method or radar absorbing method to in order to uh, reduce the radar cross section. Okay, so now what are the goals? Simply stated, the goals of shaping are to have no specular returns. So specular returns means whatever, as I said, it is the scattering comes from the threat regions, or backscatter or scattering energy which is comes from the threat region. So that should not be there for uh, the system where we use shaping. Okay, and have no surface or edge normals point towards the threat sector, because if the any surface or edge which are there in the threat sector, definitely that will return the maximum energy and it can be able to detect it. So that's why this surface or edge uh, which is normal to that incident should not be there in the threat sector. Or if that surface is there in that threat sector, we can identify that as a threat sector and we have to do modification for that particular region and we have to reduce the backscattering. Okay, and if one is successful in creating a low RCS target by shaping, so by using shaping techniques, so if you able to create low RCS, so then the material treatment goals are then to reduce non-specular returns. So that means whatever if you apply shaping techniques, and if you are already having, or if you are already achieved the low RCS, still if you have any non-specular returns are there, so you can reduce by using the other methods like the non-specular returns from tips and edges to reduce surface traveling, edge and creeping waves. These all these things from the non-specular regions we can do for radar cross section reduction from other techniques also. Okay, so this is first one, to reduce the low RCS by using shaping. Then material treatment, in the sense as I said, using radar absorbing surface or material, we can reduce these things. Okay, so now what is meant by specular scattering, and how we can able to reduce it. So this is the classical ray tracing scattering. Whatever incident angle is there, same reflected angle will be there. So based on that incident angle and reflection or reflected angle, we can able to trace the whatever scattering energy or whatever the reflection coming from. So this is a classical ray trace. So where scattering takes place, the angle of reflection is equal to angle of incidence. You can see 20 degree if you are having angle of incidence, the reflection also come from, so exactly 20 degree angle of reflection. So the specular return is very bright. High level return is to be avoided entirely within the thrust sector. So in this specular scattering, so the back scattering energy is in the high level, and we need to avoid as a threat sector. So if you identify that as a threat sector, and we have to uh, avoid that the specular return. And the specular surfaces may be planar, singly curved, or doubly curved, doubly and singly curved surfaces, because their surfaces normal point over wide regions of space are to be avoided. You can see here, so this cone kind of thing or triangular kind of thing, so when you view from this angle, so it may be reflect maximum energy, because the surface will be large and it will be even, the surface will be flat. Okay, so if you view from this angle, so like tip, so tip will be very small area, and it will be not maximally return the specular returns. Okay, so like that, in different viewing angle if you see, so based on that viewing angle, so we can decide the specular scattering or specular returns which is there or not. So this is about specular scattering. So rear sector, this is side sector, front, and so this one, so whatever the angle of incident, and how much the angle of even elevation which is there, we can see here. So now you can see, if you take an example for specular scattering, so what is the scattering energy of the plate, cylinder and sphere. You can see here, the sphere which is actually having a in uniform direction, it is going to scatter the energy. So the energy will be distributed over spatial region. You can see here, cylinder only in the curved surface it will be having uniform, and in the uh, top surface and bottom surface it will be reflect at particular energy. So that's why the energy distribution compared to sphere, the back scattering energy will be high. So now completely, if you complete if you take the plate, whatever the angle of arrival, exactly it is perpendicular to the plate, maximum energy will get reflect. So that's why this cone shape will be there having maximum return. Okay, so whatever 90 degree orthogonal incidence is there, exactly we get the maximum returns in the orthogonal plane. Okay, so early shaping attempts replaced planar surfaces with singly and doubly curved surfaces. Earlier they are used to do the shaping technique using cylinder or sphere, so because it will reduce the scattering energy, so compared to the plate. Okay, so the specular flash from plates is greater than this cylinder and spheres. So that's why we need to avoid plate kind of thing in order to reduce the backscattering energy. So the specular flash from curved surface was still bright and worse, because compared to how the conformer surface we will going to do. So based on that conformer surface, the specular returns will be uh, it will be there and it will reflect the energy. So the specular return from curved surfaces extended over the significant angular region. So you can see in the all angular regions, so these surfaces will be having the specular return. So but how much energy it is reflected from the curved surfaces, so that again we need to the using shaping techniques we have to do that curved surfaces or conformal surfaces. So now coming to the multiple bond structures. So this is also one of the shaping techniques where so multiple returns we will give, and it will attenuate the signal energy, because if it multiple reflection happens, the energy will get lost in this itself. Okay, so it will not give the maximum energy or backscatter energy. If the shaping is planar, say for example it is not in the curved surface, so directly it will hit and it will reflect back. So then you will get the maximum reflected energy. So in order to reduce the radar cross section, so we have to reduce the backscattering energy. So this is one of the method to reduce that the scattering. Okay, so if you have multiple bouncing or multiple reflection happens, so the energy will be get absorbed or get decayed in the multiple reflections itself, and finally whatever reflections which is coming, it will be having less energy. So that's why it is using trihedral or tetrahedral, so like that shaping technique so use, and they will have multiple bonds and they will reduce the energy and they will reduce the bright return. Okay, so these scattering mechanisms are specular in nature, so that energy reflected from one surface to another before bouncing back towards the receiver. So multiple reflections happens, as I said, and multiple bond structures range from trihedral, which have a bright return over a significant angular region via a double or triple bonds. So even depends upon which shaping technique or which shaping structures you will use, trihedral, tetrahedral or pentahedral, like that. So based on that you can have multiple reflection and you can reduce the bright return. And even in the complex target like aircraft, so cavity inlets and exhaust which will be used, so that will cannot be avoided, so must be designed either with the covering screen or serpentine shaping. So those whatever the specular returns, we cannot avoid the bright reflection or specular returns, so that we need to avoid externally by using other covering screen or so other serpentine shaping techniques. Okay, so this is one of the multiple bond structure which we can see and which returns the minimum reflected energy. And another one, it is side lobe scattering. So whenever you have the angle of incidence, based on this angle of incidence, a simple plate itself, it will behave in a different manner and it will give different backscattering energy. So now this side lobe scattering so is the reason for end regions. Either it will be edge or it will be like in the that viewing angle, it is important whether it is viewing perpendicular to the plate or viewing diagonal to the plate. So based on that, whether it is the currents which are flowing in this because of the field incident, whether it is on the conductor or off the conductor, so whether it is going here nearby the surface or on the surface, so even based on that change in the current due to incident field, so that will be having discontinuity, and based on that discontinuity, so there is a abrupt transition of a scattering center. So because of the current change or incident field which is distributed over here based on the angle of incidence, so that will change the scattering center uh, region, so that will affect the scattering. So because of this edges and whatever we have incident angle in terms of diagonal or in terms of the perpendicular region, so it will going to produce the side lobes. So even main scattering which is there, along with that we will be having side lobe scattering. So this is one of the figure which we says to which the plate will be producing side lobe scattering, so with respect to down and cross range. Say for example, this plate is put inside some room, and we incident the energy, and whatever reflection which is happening from the plate, so because of this edges and angle of incidence in different scenarios, it is producing the side lobes in different ranges. Because the room which will be having in two directions, one is down range and one is cross range. Cross range means whatever the radar viewing system is there, so exactly uh, parallel to that, okay. And down range, it is exactly perpendicular to that, whatever incident direction, and exactly opposite to that, it is down range. So that down range and cross range, with respect to that, the side lobes are producing, so these plates are producing. Even viewing along the diagonal also, it will produce a different scattering regions. So side lobe scattering will produce. Okay, so reduction of side lobe scattering may take several forms. So as I said, these are the some of the forms which will be used with respect to angle and also with respect to edges. So now viewing surface as close to the grazing as possible. So these side lobe scattering centers diminish in magnitude as the end regions are viewed as closer to the grazing angle. Say for example, this is the one which is perpendicular. Okay, so if you have the incidence which is grazing towards this edge, okay, if you have the grazing angle or grazing towards this edge, then the side lobe reduction will be happening. So that viewing angle also, it is important how the surfaces are viewing with respect to angle, okay. And view planar facet end regions along the diagonal to minimize the end region area and hence scattering centers magnitude. Even with respect to diagonal also, we can minimize the side lobe scattering. And when viewing planar facets into corners, make the corners included angle smaller. That means like this, you can use the okay, so this is actually called as included angle, okay. So this we'll call it as included angle. So now this included angle you can able to go on reducing, so this will become sharper and sharper. So by making this sharper, we can able to reduce the backscattering. So that is what here it is saying, when viewing planar facets into corners, make the corner included angle very much smaller, that is these corner angles. So whatever we have here, plate itself we are using as this one. So this corner angles, if you are going to reduce, so then we can able to reduce the even side lobe scattering, okay. And avoid abrupt end regions altogether. So this may be accomplished by using blended surfaces with respect to near grazing incidence, okay. So and the physical optics currents for this case taper smoothly to zero into the shadow regions, thus avoiding the abrupt transition. So the transition which is happening here, so here whatever I will going to the included angle transition, we will make very small. So that will reduce the, so the side lobe scattering. So now this has the effect of avoiding the sharp discontinuity of currents and eliminating the end region discontinuity return. So this eliminates the, so whatever end region is there, so that discontinuity return it will be so eliminating. And eliminate the sharp discontinuity of currents by using tapered radar absorbing materials. So as I said, the as like this, you can use the radar absorbing materials to taper. So this actually used in this tapering absorbing materials in anechoic chamber. So you might have seen like this, okay. So whenever it is go on tapering, the impedance will going to change and it will be having the energy absorption will be high, okay. So that technique we have to use even using radar absorbing materials, and smoothly tapers currents to zero at the edge of the surface, we can reduce the side lobe scattering, okay. So these are the some of the methods to methods of shaping, and how we can able to identify specular regions and threat regions, and according to the design we can able to do it, okay. So now this edge diffraction, so this we will discuss in next class. Okay, so till now any doubt you can ask. Okay, so any doubt? No.